So a friend of mine just got a tattoo, and I think it was a big mistake. And so in this video, I'm going to explain why I think tattoos are generally a mistake. So the first thing you need to know is that your skin tells people a lot about your health. It's a natural indicator of your health, and I know this very intimately because when I was younger, I had bad skin on my face, and it was because of my diet. My diet was bad. I was eating a lot of, breads and pastas. It was giving me acne, and it was very painful for me to have that problem and not know what the cause of it was, because it was very clear that it made me less attractive. It made me look less healthy. And so I eventually figured it out that it was my diet, but from that experience, I became very aware of the importance of your skin and the condition of your skin as an indicator of your health. And so an analogy I would give is it's a lot like your clothing and your shoes. When you see these guys that are obsessed with shoes, the shoes have to look clean. They have to be in good condition. If the shoes have blemishes, if the shoes have scuffs, same thing with cars. If you buy a nice car and the car has scuffs, has any kind of blemish, that makes it less attractive. If you don't put a bumper sticker on a Rolls Royce, right? You don't put a bumper sticker on a BMW. It ruins the aesthetic. And for the same reason, I think tattoos are generally a mistake, because you are messing up the aesthetic of your body. You are putting something on your body that resembles like a birthmark or a bruise, something. It's like a blemish on your skin. It makes it look less healthy. For me personally, tattoos resemble bruises, and so it looks less, makes your body looks less healthy. Now, of course, when the tattoo is new, it looks better, right? And some tattoos, when they're new, they can look very impressive. But the problem with tattoos is that as they age, as you age, as time goes on, they look worse and worse. The colors get faded, and there's really no way to cover up. I'm not an expert with tattoos, but my understanding is that, you can't cover up an older tattoo with a newer tattoo in the way that you can paint a new, the way that you can touch up a painting, right? A painting that's aging, you can add more paint on top. I don't know that you can do that with tattoos. Maybe it's possible, but I haven't seen that. It just seems like they have to get darker and darker over time. And so, yeah, I think that if you have good skin, or if you can have good skin, you should really try to just keep your skin looking good and show it off. Because that's going to look really, I think that will have a nicer aesthetic effect. The same thing with your shoes, right? If you have a nice pair of shoes that look really clean, you don't pay someone to doodle on them, right? You keep the nice, clean aesthetic of the original shoes. Now, of course, with some cars, people do pay to have the car wrapped, right? You can wrap a car with a different color, right? But that's temporary, and it's reversible. So I would say that is not an analogy for tattoos. That's an analogy for temporary tattoos, or henna, or a body painting, something like that, because it's very easy to take it off. Imagine if you could wrap a car once, and once you wrapped that car, you could not ever change it. That would be a much bigger decision, right? Because you really cannot mess it up at that point. And imagine if people weren't wrapping the whole car, but they were just adding bumper stickers, in individual places, decals in individual places, and the decal could never be taken off again. That would be a very, very big decision then, to add one of those decals. So, yeah, I think if you, the one situation, this is the way I would think about it, is that with tattoos, there's going to be some aesthetic potential benefit. If you get a very good tattoo, it can potentially look good. But you have to consider that as the tattoo gets older, it's going to look less good. So imagine that there's some potential benefit from the tattoo in terms of the aesthetics. You have to weigh that potential near-term benefit against the long-term cost. You know, once the tattoo is older and looks less good, there's going to be some cost there in your appearance, and you have to weigh it against the cost of it messing up the aesthetic of your skin, of not being able to, of looking like a blemish, or covering up skin that you have that looks good. And so you have these potential benefits and these costs, and you have to weigh the costs and the benefits. And so this is a long way to get around to what I'm going to say, is that if you have like scars on your body, that would be a situation where I could see a tattoo potentially being worth in the investment. It could be worth getting a tattoo to cover up a scar or a birthmark, something like that. But if you have good skin, or if you can have good skin, if you change up your diet and you could get good skin that way, I think that's a much better way to, you know, look good than getting a tattoo that's going to look washed out in 10 years. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Because yeah, I just had a friend get a tattoo, and I really think it was a big mistake. Obviously, it doesn't look horrible right now, but you know, in 10 years, I mean, I would say even right now it doesn't look great, but you know, in 10 years it's going to look a lot worse. But yeah, this is not to badmouth people that have tattoos. I have lots of friends that have tattoos. Obviously, it's a personal choice. You do what you want with your body, but this is just my opinion. And I'm just trying to explain the reason I think like this. So I'm not saying everybody needs to think like this. I'm just explaining why someone might think the way that I think. I just wanted to say one more thing. Another situation in which a tattoo might be worth it is if you want to draw attention away from some other feature of your appearance. So, for example, you know, if your face is exceptionally unattractive, then having a tattoo that draws attention away from your face might be a net benefit to your appearance. But you know, that's a rare circumstance. I think in most cases, if you just, you know, take care of your body and, you know, keep your weight healthy, at a healthy weight, then you really, you know, be a very rare situation where I think that would make someone look better. But I can see how that could be possible. And you know, of course, the other thing is that for many people, tattoos are about sending a message, where you want to say, you know, it might be like something you do for your friends, like to commemorate something that you did together, or it might be a way to send a message that you're like opting out of, you know, mainstream rules about what you should do. So I get that, and that could be a benefit to doing it. So I'm really just talking about people that are getting it for the aesthetic benefit, and not for some other reason, like, you know, bonding with. I guess in this case, my friend did it because their friend had one, and they were kind of like bonding together over it or something. But yeah, so that's a situation where I could see it being worth it. But I'm just talking about the aesthetics.